is, and they are nearly 100% confident in many science fields that DMT is produced in there. For all you can't provide physical evidence because you can't physically autopsy someone fast enough to prove it. But they say small amounts of DMT secreted whilst using certain substances such as ayahuasca, which is where you get this God experience that shamans embark those following them and themselves upon to hear answers from that other dimension, from the spiritual plane, from your connection to the intuitive psychic self, the part of you, the intelligent part of you that allows your hair to grow, your heart to beat. The pineal and DMT is a very interesting substance because it is recorded that when DMT crystallizes, if you try to break it with something, you get a flash of a singular color. Very, very interesting chemical and very, very interesting material. So imagine you've got a tray with dried DMT and you hit it with a hammer or something, a rock or something like this, and you get, because of the crystals smashing, you get a flash of a singular light. If you just equate that the fact around the pineal gland you have this material that is said to be nearly identical to the retina of the human eye, it's connected to the visual cortex of the human brain. And when you strike DMT, which is very close to melatonin and we presume comes from the pineal because it's very clear when people have these experiences what is happening, that pineal filled with little crystals and fluid within it, which stimulates itself in darkness when you close your eyes. And those who sat in the dark saw a great light, as it is written in Christianity. That this, on a quantum level, on a nano quantum level, biological level, is a projector. If you want to look at it that way. It's a spiritual projector that has the ability to conjure all colors. We see this from the fact that crystallized DMT, when struck, sparks into a single color. So inside your pineal, you have the ability to have projections of full colors that connect to the visual part of your brain. And this is where your dreaming states are coming from. People say, what happens when you activate the pineal? Well, ask yourself. Every night you dream, you'll use your pineal. It's part of your anatomy. It's not something to be feared, as is commonly touted within many different faiths on the planet. Well, not many, predominantly in the West, via persons following Islam and Christianity, they fear it. They've been taught to fear it because it's where they self-empower. God is not so ridiculous and not so childish as to put a portal to a demonic world inside of you. And if you were, then he's not a very nice God, is he? Of course that's not what it is, but you believing it is, because the Vatican don't want you to know, for all they have a massive statue of a pine cone, so it's very important to them, is important to them because then you still require them for your salvation and you cannot become fully empowered. Face it. The largest religions on the planet are now corporate. They are corporations driven by money, wealth, power, and the material wealth. I'm not saying all persons who follow it are like that, but we have to admit that's how it is. Otherwise, the Vatican would end world hunger instead of sitting on dormant, stagnant wealth. This is not as Jesus Christ would have wanted. So this gland is of massive importance to you and to I and to everybody because it allows you to connect to spirit. And the powers that be, they want to suppress it. Now everyone's heard of calcifying your pineal gland. And when you activate your pineal, it's not some big wondrous thing, I became superhuman. This is nonsense. People touting that, just switch off from them. What you need to do is realize that basically you'll subtly